Well, Gizmo is almost 5 and he's been through tons of training, but he still has a lot of fear, aggression, and anxiety. So he hates other dogs. He doesn't like strangers. He has bitten a jogger and we've been sued over it. He bit my husband a month ago when he grabbed his leash. So we just felt like we really need some intense training to get him to be a calmer, happier dog, and we're just kind of at our wits' end because all the training that we've tried, including behaviorists and everything, is not working as quickly and as well as we hoped. So I just figured some intense boarding training might help.
We have a new person coming to meet Gizmo. Go say hi. Chicken, come. Good boy. So we're using a high value reward, of course. And of course, Jennifer is just one of many that has come by to meet Gizmo, so we can get him really used to people coming into his space the same way, just hold it like that. And going over to accept a treat from somebody, having a good experience, coming back when called. Go say hi. Good. Come. Good. One more time. Sit. One last piece, just like that. Go say hi. Good boy, come. Good. So after doing the official greeting routine, now we're just hanging out, and you see how he is not lunging at her and he's not growling at her, and if he does look at her, he's turning back to me and I'm giving him rewards. And he just met her. This is just after like 3 minutes after she arrived. So you see, he's greatly desensitized to her. If he starts to stare at somebody new like that, just call him away. But you already have a dog over there making noise. We already have him really close to a new person in what he perceives as his space. He's not pulling, lunging, barking, any of that. And you want to do it just like this for a while with people that come to your house, because you want to end it while see how he's looking at her, wagging his tail. He's friendly. He wants to go over and say hi to her. But we're not going to do that yet, because we want to just build up a pattern of him meeting brand new people like this and it going like this, where he's just like, whatever, everything's cool. And we end it while it's going really well. And gradually with each person, now that we're doing this, we let them stay out or in their presence just a little bit longer each time. But this is one of the first ones we've done, so we're going to end it now while he's doing really well. Come on, buddy, let's go. Sit. Practice a little greeting routine with somebody else here. Make sure you're using a high value reward when you do this. Go say hi. Yeah. Come. Very good. Okay, that's all we need. Have this. So I'm just going to send him over one time. Just hold it like this and let him take it from you, and I'm going to call him back to come, okay? Sit. Just like this, and he's going to take it. I'm going to call him back. So just go like that. Go say hi. Come. Good. All right. Sit. We're going to walk Gizmo up to the person. Well, 10 or 12 feet is good distance to stop. Step away, hand the person your rewards, and drop something, your high value treats that you're going to give to them. I'm using the natural balance, but Gizmo knows him, so you can, use any regular treats for somebody that he knows already. But when you're going to introduce him to a new person, use what you see in the other clips. There's a few clips of other people that I just sent him over to once or twice that you'll see as well. And those people, I hand them pieces of meat, chicken breast, little pieces of steak, and his impression of meeting somebody brand new is changing because those brand new people always have something amazing for him. But in this case, I'm just doing this little clip to show you exactly how to do it. You see he's still in the sit, stay, waiting. So I had him sit, I walked over, handed the reward, the treat to him. No, if he pops up before you release him, just say no and apply a little pressure and he'll go back. Come back over with my right hand, I pat his chest and say, go say hi. He goes and gets a treat. Come. Call him back to come to me. Good. step into him. When I'm doing this with Gizmo, I'll just add in the left turn, sit, and then do a little sit stay here. So in this one little exercise you do, little routine, you can incorporate the sit stay, you got the sending him over, the go command, you got come, good, you've got your little left hand circle there, sit, and so you can do a lot, and then you could just practice your sit stay there. You know, it's a little bit harder. It takes more focus on his part to go through all this, to wait to go get the reward. And of course, you know, it's really hard for most dogs to do this. Like, most dogs are going to pop up if their owner or if their handler stands behind them like that. So it's all about the stay, obviously. If he can focus in that situation and stay there, you see it all through the video. He may stare at a person, a dog, a bicycle, or whatever it is, carts that go past, but you don't have this instantaneous, you know, go get him like craziness like we had before. We have like a fuse that gets longer and longer and longer and longer the more we do things with him. Nope. Like, talk too much on a video like I'm doing. But this in itself is good practice, because you're going to be doing these things when you have friends come over, when you're talking to them, and he's going to have to still do his training while you're talking to other people. So this is good practice for him. Nope. If he pops up before you release him, you just do your do-over circle like that, and reset him. I still only said SIT one time. So now we're going to send him over, pat his chest and say, go say hi. Come. Good. I think I neglected to give him a treat over there, but that's okay. See, it's so automatic for Gizmo. Sit. This is something we've done every day. We've done it with a bunch of different people. So he's really good at it. This is the last time I do it. I just want to show you exactly how we're doing it. And I think that you should practice it with people that he really knows well, and just members of your immediate family first, just to get the moves down so you can do it comfortably like I'm doing it now. And then you start plugging in brand new people after you're comfortable with just the mechanics of the whole greeting routine with familiar people. Also, that'll make it easier for him as well, because all that's really different is that you're just plugging a new person in the same spot. The reason that this greeting routine is so valuable is that you're orchestrating every move here. He doesn't feel like he's on his own. There's no downtime. He's always thinking. He's waiting right now in a sit stay to be released. So there's no time for him to just stand around and guess, like in your house or something, while there's a stranger there. That's not a good thing to do. So we built this routine, put the little training parts together, the sit stays and the go and the comes and all that, so that he feels like you're in charge of this whole thing, which makes him feel safe. The same thing happens every time he goes over. You know, he thrives on knowing exactly how it's going to go. He gets a treat, you call him right back to come to you. It's totally safe, and I have a treat on this end too. So it's treat, 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 treat. It's all safe and all good stuff for him, and it's a fun game. So that's why this changes his perception about meeting new people. Go. Come. Good. Just hanging out here. Oh, there's a dog there. We're gonna stand back because I think these people are afraid of bringing the dogs out. See how he's staring? Come. Good. We're gonna stand back and give them room to take their dogs out. Hi there. Oh, hey, how you doing? Come. They're not gonna bring their dogs out, I guess. Very good. Okay, come on, let's go. Come. Good. Any person that we see on the street and this man has a hat and he's just kind of standing there, we're going to call Gizmo away from him. And see, before I can even call him to come to me, he's being drawn away. So now, and watch, somebody's going to come out of that gate, show the gate, and then show Gizmo. Wait. There we go. Now show Gizmo. Come. Good. Very good. So there's a lot of stuff going on here. And so if somebody pops out in front of us, I'm ready to call him back to come to me. But every time he turns away from somebody or something, good, I'm going to reward him. Every time that we encourage this new behavior, see, I'm drawing him past these guys who are walking right up on us. Every time I encourage this new behavior to turn away from the distraction, good. I'm rewarding him for that. It gets stronger. We're just going to keep walking and see what else comes past us. So there's this guy walking right towards us. See how he turns to me, and I'm not going to walk right past him, but I will draw him away until this man, and I'm just doling out the little pieces until this man passes by. And every time we do that, he's way more likely next time to turn away. We're literally desensitizing him to these distractions, and it's always about turning away from it, coming to you, and it passes by while he's turned away from it. So Gizmo doesn't see this, but we're going to walk into a whole bunch of stuff happening here, and I'll show you how he reacts. So this is a surprise to him. Do you see how he'll turn back, just turn back, and the leash is loose. And this is what I have now. Make sure that you're not crowding me. You catch everything behind me as well. We have a new camera person helping us. This is what we have now because of all the practicing I've done. But what I want you to do is as soon as you come onto a distraction, come close to a distraction, I'm going to let him sniff the flowers first. And of course there's a lady with a cart here, and they're moving giant logs here. But anyway, this is what we have. So it's actually really pretty basic and simple. I just practiced this so much that now he has a different job to do. His job is to pay attention to me because he gets paid. It's so easy. And it's created a new behavior pattern where instead of seeing people do stuff, moving things, carts, whatever, and getting excited and moving towards them, now it triggers him to turn his back on them, move towards me, and get a bunch of attention. So I'm going like this. Good, right? Good. You want to reward at the same moment that you say good and pet. Good. Because then when there's no food, there's no leash even maybe. So we had somebody come from right behind the camera person. Good. See, that's what we're looking for. I knew he would do it because we've been practicing this for 2 months. And it took a while because of his previous history, but you see, even with a dog with, an extreme issue like he had, it's just a matter of time when you practice the right thing. So even when you don't have food, pretend like you do, your target hand. And he's looking at that guy now. Show that guy real quick. Crossing the street. Come. See how he came right to me? Good boy. He'll still come to this target. I didn't have food, and I grabbed the leash, and I'm going to get him out of here, right? So if I'm you, that's what I'm going to be doing. There's a lot of stuff going on here. The leash is not tight. The whole time that we've been showing you this, it's a loose leash. Tension on the leash, controlling him, keeping him next to you is going to cause aggression because tension on a leash creates stress in the dog. So you're going to use the training, you're going to use your target hand, watch. Come, see? Wherever I go, he can't help himself. It's empty. He knows that. Good boy. So you practice with the rewards in your hand so that when you don't have them, you do the same moves and it still works. Okay. All right. Sit. And if he's in a place where he's distracted, and we picked a place where he's beyond distracted, you might have to help him with a little bit of tension as you say SIT. But of course we know that the most important part is the stay, which we don't have to say stay anymore. He knows that sit means to stay, so we don't even say stay, because when you say sit or down, he knows that he's waiting to be released. So he's really on edge. I want you to go to your right and show all the flags there. That kind of thing used to flip him out. Anything blowing like that, So because we've been practicing this kind of stuff every day for a long time now, he's got a higher level of resistance to stress. This kind of stuff's scary for him. But notice that a lot of this is keeping the leash loose, because when you choke up on the leash or you let him pull, you're going to create stress in him, and then there's the tight leash, and then this stuff happens and he can't handle it, and he has an episode. So anyway, we've been practicing these things, in ever increasing levels to the point where we can come to the extreme, which is this. I didn't start here. I started in my yard, and I started just getting him used to walking behind him, which he couldn't do. Remember, he couldn't even stay in a sit stay when I did this. And then we moved out on the street, to the end of the street, to the parking lot, eventually here, as the days and weeks went by. Good. And now he has a greater tolerance to stress, because we've taught him a much higher level of focus gradually, by doing things gradually. And if he made a mistake, didn't go back and do that for a while, I backed it all up and practiced simpler things to build him up, and then tried it again later on. It's just a very methodical way of doing it, which, good, hopefully you'll continue. But see, this whole time he's been in a sit as he watches the distractions go by. And he's waiting to be released. So if I'm going to walk with him, if he's going to walk with me, I'm just going to stand back next to him, holding the leash. Of course, the leash comes out the back of my hand, so I have leverage. I can tap him if I need to, but still staying loose. And I can say, okay, and he walks with me. But if I want to sit, if I want to release him just to be free and give him some free time, I come back next to him. My right hand, I'm going to make sure he really waits, make sure he doesn't anticipate and go before you actually send him to be free. But with my right hand, I'm just going to pat his chest and say, go. And then he's on free time. And see, it's so much about the release. You see how calm that release was? I waited for 2 seconds until I really knew that he was waiting, and I said, go, like that. If you're moving fast, if you're just going to like go, and he's jumping and leaving that sit stay right just a millisecond before you release him, it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. And pretty soon he's going to try to anticipate everything you're doing, and you're going to go like that, and he'll already be gone. So be really careful with that. Okay, with that sit stay, just to reiterate that, sit, so you can see it. See that? Never restraining him, always a loose leash. Go. Because this is a fragile calmness that we're building in him, and if you don't handle him in a very specific way, and a lot of it's about how you reward him and also about how you release him, it's a fragile calmness that you can destroy by doing sloppy releases and sloppy other things. So that's why I wanted to make sure that we're showing you exactly how to do it here. Okay. Down. And I'm using my left foot at the same moment that I say the command, because he's pretty much on edge here. I wanted to do this final video just showing you what he is capable of doing. I wouldn't say he's relaxed here yet, but at least he can do it. And if he's ever nervous, he may not respond immediately to the down or the sit, so you just have to help him a little bit. But the stay is rock solid, which is the most important part. And so there's somebody walking from behind us, and he won't notice him until he surprises us. Good. You see how he doesn't even care. Well, that's great. Good. Oh, somebody walking right past us now. Good. So I'm keeping him there just by rewarding him. I'm not restraining him. If somebody is walking past us or whatever, I'm going to keep him there by having him focus on my reward and waiting. Good. To get rewarded like that, and he doesn't care about the people. So the down is also done without saying stay. Stay is irrelevant because down means to stay. And he's going to stay until he's somehow released. If you're practicing in your house, or you're practicing in your yard that's fenced, or if he's in a secure area, you can drop the leash and walk away and come back and all that. But we're out in public, so I'm not going to drop the leash. But you can keep practicing longer and longer stays. But whenever you come back, you always reward the same way. Right there. And I think you can see, if he tries to touch your hand or take it out of your hand, you just say no when you pull back. He knows what that means. So it's just, nope. See how he's waiting? Good. So he's waiting like a good 4 or 5 inches away from my hand, really focused, really respectfully waiting until I let go of it, withdrew, and he took it off the ground. I said, good. So that's the way to reward him. And we've had all these distractions go around us while we've been in a downstay here. The way you release him, and the only way that he gets up, is when you stand back next to him, pat your leg and say, okay, and then say sit. Because if you start releasing him out of a downstay to be free, he's going to pop up and get all excited and run around, and we're not after that. We're after a calm release. So first he sit, we release him up. We're teaching him that out of a down, he's still on the clock. We have him sit, and then we release him from a calm sit stay out of a down. Same way, he waits, go, and then he's calm. And see, he's nervous about, there's a man here that he saw, but also the flags. Go to your right and show the flags. And see Gizmo, how he's coming back my way. It's okay, and then bicycles came past. Come! Which of course we never expected. I didn't expect a bike to come out of Home Depot. When does that happen? But there it goes, show it go. It's going away. But you saw how he acted. The person wasn't riding, and now he is. Show it. The guy's riding away. Look, Gizmo, look, there's a guy on a bike. He doesn't really care. Oh, the leash got tangled up. Come. Good. So bicycles was a big thing. Come on, buddy. Bicycles was a big thing before as well. And now, if it surprises us like that, he's mildly interested, but just use your training. Call him away. Say come, and he's going to come running away from that distraction. So this is just so much about how on top of things you are when you're out in public, how well you've been practicing, how carefully you've been practicing in your house, in your yard, in your front yard before you take him out into public. But this is where you could get, by then he should be a lot better than he is even now. And so you just have to practice my moves. And if you do these moves and you pay attention to everything, he'll do what you see him doing here. Okay, buddy, let's go. Sit. We're always just walking him up to the crate, having him sit. Remember, the power of using the crate in this way is that you control the boundary. So you're never restraining. If you're holding the leash and he gets up to go before you release him to go or send him in, you just do a little tap and release. It's a tap and release. It's not a jerk and pop. It's not to cause pain. It's a signal. Nope. Or you can say no, and he pretty much will go back at this point. You open the door, he loves his crate, nope. So you teach him that if you don't stay right there, if you move forward before you release, it makes the door close. So remember, never holding tight, you're not restraining him, he's choosing to wait. You open the door, and then he's on your left with your right hand, no. He loves his crate, but he has to wait for your permission to go in. With your right hand, it's that slow, very thoughtful release, no, because we're trying to beat that anticipation he has. That's the root of all of his problems, or anticipation, that leaping before he thinks. It's what he does with everything, is when he would get distracted and leap, get surprised by a bicycle rider or another dog or a person, and he would just reactively go for it. So that's what we're trying to beat here by really having him wait. See how he's waiting? Go. I send him in, he turns around, he gets a reward. I reached in, gave him a reward. I'm going to take his little training collar off here and his choke chain because we had him out on the street. and I'll explain the choke chain in a minute. His routine here at my house, then you close the door. His routine here at my house has been to sleep in the crate overnight, and he gets his meals in there, so we'd bring his bowl in there, he's already in there, give him his meals, he eats in there. Really special chewies, bones and chewies, things in there, all good stuff in there. He goes in there, the hands come in to give him rewards, we close the door. We go to take him out, the hands go in there, give him a reward, hook him up, he comes out. So every interaction with you and him in there is very positive. That's why he can't wait to go in there. Dogs are naturally den animals, and so we've developed this crate as his den. And see, he wanted to go in there even though we have the crate out in the yard, and this is a spot that his crate's never been here, and he's never gone into a crate when it's in the yard or any other place other than in the house, in his room. But he loves his crate so much, he doesn't care where it is, he just wants to go into it. When you take off his collars, say he's gonna, let's say it's time for bed. You take off his little prong collar, you hang it on the door, because if you just put it somewhere, it'll get tangled in itself and it'll take you 5 minutes to untangle it. The leash, the choke chain can go wherever you want, maybe on top of the crate. The choke chain is always going to, when it's around his neck, it's always going to be longer than the prong collar, because we want the choke chain just to be loose. It's only for safety. It's not for training. If you use this for training, it'd really mess up his neck, because it's all right there. It's metal. You could choke him or hurt him. And obviously the prong collar, as scary as it might look, and this is the very small size, obviously this is size to his neck and only closes so far. And you see throughout all the other clips in this video how we use it. It's more about having a way to control him easily for you, because it closes with the same pressure all the way around on the back as well as the front. You just tap it, and it's like power steering on your dog. So that's why we use this. It's not to cause pain. So this is just hanging loose, but both collars are attached to the leash, so if the prong collar ever comes off, the choke chain comes into play and you don't lose him out in public. So that's why we're using the choke chain. So if we're going to take him out, so let's say that we're taking him out now. He can come on through. It's okay. Let's say that we're going to take him out and we're going to take him back on the street, put on the choke chain first. We open the door, and remember, he has to stay in there. No. So if he tries to come out, you can give him a treat, but stick your hand way in there. Hey, Ronnie, can you close that gate? Thanks. Go ahead and close the gate. Okay. No. So he's waiting to come out. I'll take a little reward here, put my hand through the choke chain, and just as he's eating a treat, I draw that over his head. So he's got the choke chain on. You always put that on first, and then you attach the leash to the prong collar. Make sure that the prong collar is not twisted, and you're going to attach the leash to this funny looking buckle. See you later. The funny looking buckle. And it's going to look like this, and then you just reach in, and the prong collar goes in on above all the other collars, right beneath his ears. So it's always the highest one up. So that's where it goes. All the other collars are below the prong collar, and then you just, by feel, you can just grab the choke chain, hook that up. So now the leash is hooked up to both the prong collar and the choke chain. He's waiting to be released, and if he's waiting like this, good, you can stick your hand in and give him a reward. If he tries to come out before you release him, no. Give it a little, what I call a little token slam like that. But I also practice this exercise where he waits, you step back, and you reward him. Good. So you're never going to give him the treat when his head's sticking out, because then you'll teach him to stick his head out. So whenever I'm rewarding him, I'm going to stick my hand in there so he has to be in there to get the treat. I haven't done this for a while, but see how quickly it starts working and he's not sticking his head out so much? Good. And I always say good the moment I give him the treat. So to finally allow him to come out, it's okay, he comes out. And I'm always turning into him like that whenever I can. And I'm going to close this door because the power of the crate is that you control the boundary. You control the boundary to his den. It's where he sleeps, eats, where he gets treats. He loves his crate as long as you use it responsibly. You're never throwing him in there as a punishment. He's never had a bad association with the crate the whole time he's been here. It's always a happy, fun place. Good stuff happens in there. And you have a way to control him. You have a way to manage him when you have guests at your house. If it's not a good day, or they don't like dogs, or whatever it is, or they're afraid, you can just put him back in the back room in his crate with his favorite bone. He's happy, safe. When they leave, you take him out. Unless you're set up for success, and especially in the first few months he's back with you, don't take any chances if you're not sure about how it's going to go. If you're nervous, if you're having a bad day and you're not sure you can do it successfully, don't do it, because really our goal is either he has a great experience or no experience at all. So no more bad experiences, because we don't want to lose any ground. That's how I got him to the point that he is now. I didn't do anything until I was assured of success, or until we'd practiced enough so I knew that he could do it. And that's how he keeps getting better. Just little successes. Success, built on success. Just little ones are good too. Just keep building up. Don't take chances. Don't make mistakes, and he's going to get better. He's going to change for the better a lot quicker. Okay. Always bring Gizmo out through any boundary, especially the front door or front gate, or any important boundary in your house. Have him sit and wait. You step out just to accentuate the fact that this is your boundary. He waits till you come back next to him. Then you say, okay. And if he has any tendency to pull you through a boundary, you can just tap him, and you might even have to stop at the threshold, because you want this. No pulling. You want him to respectfully walk out through with you, next to you, without pulling. Okay, and this is our front door here. This is the main house he's been in the whole time he's been here. And so he's been through this front door many, many times just that way, sitting, waiting. Sit. And we're going to take him out on the street, because we're going to go out and practice and do this video out in public. So when you start the walk in a very calm way, where he's not pulling you through the boundaries, where he's calm, he's respectful, and then by the time you hit the street, he's way closer to being in the zone where you can control him when distractions show up. We're about to go, we have gates that lead to the street, so we're going to show you how we come through those gates and how we start the walk. Okay, sit. And now we're coming out onto the street through this main gate here. And whenever we're doing a video, especially with a dog that had a problem with strangers and had some aggression with people on the street, it's always harder for the camera person to be standing there and pointing the camera at us, but he's doing pretty well. So I had him sit, I stepped through first, I'll do it again. He's really waiting. He really is respectfully waiting before he comes through this boundary. He waits till I come back next to him. I say, okay, and see how slow we're walking. And then I'm going to do a little left circle again, a little left turn into him. Whenever you turn left into the dog, it draws him back next to you. So you're always wanting to go left. And I'm showing you how to start the walk here. And this is so much a part of the walk and having him be calm on a walk. If I want to go right, I'm not going to drag him to my right. I've got a great opportunity, okay, to do this really dominant move that draws him right back next to me, so why not do that? You notice how he's calmly walking next to me and hanging out next to me through all these video clips, and I'm going to just lead him up to the curb here and have him sit. Notice how calm he is. So much of it is because of those left turns. When you go left, there's no tension on the leash. Also, it's pretty dominant. It's a pretty dominant move. When you're stepping into him, your body is hurting him, and you're not dragging him around. It's a leadership move when it comes to dog training, so it's a great thing to do whenever you have a chance. Whenever you have an opportunity to do it, you should do it. Always turn left to go right even. And here we're at the curb. I always do this basic sit stay where he allows me walking around both ways. And then we cross the street. Okay, this is the way we always start the walk here. We're going to go across the street. And over here, sit. And he's nervous because of the camera person, but he's doing pretty well considering. And then with my right hand, go, and he's free. And that's how we start the walk. So you saw us how we started at the front door, in the gate, the curb, across the street. In training mode, notice how we walk across. He's not pulling me. And then one last sit stay on the other side of the street, and now we have free time. But by now, he's in the zone. So he's much calmer. It's way different than pulling you out through the front door, pulling you down the driveway, and then, you know, having that tight leash the whole way, and then rushing and moving quickly. So a lot of this is about, see how he's pulling? Come. Good. A lot of this is about you slowing down. In fact, all of this is about what you do. If you're rushing, then he's going to rush. If you slow down the way I've been handling him, he's going to slow down. So really, it's about how you handle him that changes him. So no more rushing. Do your sit stays and you're waiting at boundaries. Release him on the street like you just saw me doing, and then the first distraction that shows up, you can call him to come, he'll come away from it easily instead of doing what he used to do. Just a little thing about basic leash handling on the street, and you might have to follow me here a little bit. It's always loose, and the way I do it is I just have it over my left hand, just like this. If you do this, you're going to have a much shorter leash and it's going to be tight, so there's no reason to do this anymore, to do this or any of this. There's no reason. So just hold it with your left hand like this, and then your right is free to grab a reward and call him away from the distraction. And I think we're going to have one here. There's a lady walking a dog right towards us. So let's catch this. Here she comes. Do you see how he's looking at it? Oh, he spotted it. Come. Good. And notice when I'm practicing the come command, I back away, but when you can't back away, see the dog's coming right at us. Come. When you can't back away, he still comes running back to you because of how you practiced. So I could do this, come, and back away, but I've done that so many times that when I can't do that, he still rushes back to me. Come. And so as the distraction, oh, I thought it was going to go into this dog place, but it's going to walk right past us. Come. So we're going to go, oh, she's going into that car. Okay. Come. Good. Come. Good. That was pretty extreme for him. And I have to point out that, come, this little interaction here is the last one of the day. Good boy, I didn't call him that time. That's what's going to start to happen. You'll see, he thinks that the dog somehow went around this side, but the dog's in the car. But you'll see him start to come away. Come! Before you start to call him, like he did that last time. Good. Good. And now the distraction is gone. But I wanted to point out, this is the last thing we did. So everything on this video happened before this. And really any dog with these issues, you want to do just a little at a time and always quit while he's got some focus left. And today when we spend, an hour doing all kinds of different things, this is the hardest day he's ever had because I had to commit it all to film today. And so he got a little bit more excited now because he's tired and his focus is shot. Like that was too much for him, but still using the commands, we were able to get him out of trouble there. I thought the dog was going to turn to the right and go up that driveway to the dog place, but she was really just going to get in her car there. So anyway, this is him at his worst. I never want you to do training endlessly with distractions. Like we've already been to Home Depot, all the other stuff on the video, and done greeting routines and all that, and he's pretty tired. So you'll see the training start to get a little bit, or actually his aggression or his overstimulation, I would call it, towards distractions. It'll start to get a little worse when he's really worn out. So never train him too much, and always end on a success, and always stop doing stuff when he still has some focus left. And that way he'll just get better and better.